Oh, hello everybody! It's Uncle Matt, and I'm here to read you another bedtime story. First of all, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Today is Father's Day, and I have an appropriate story to read tonight. It is The Berenstain Bears and the Papa's Day Surprise by Stan and Jan Berenstain. And this book was copyright in 2003. It says, some Papa Bears are embarrassed by sentiment and pretend not to want a Father's Day present. I like presents. Alright, get in position. Papa Bear is a bear of many opinions. He has opinions about all sorts of things. He has an opinion about the best way to fell trees. Timber! He has an opinion about predicting the weather. The best way to predict the weather is by observing the length of the woolly bear caterpillar's coat. He has an opinion about the best kind of honey. No question about it, wild honey is the best. And though, in his opinion, Mother's Day is a fine and proper holiday and a worthy tribute to the institution of motherhood, he didn't think much of Father's Day. Let's just skip Father's Day this year. It's just a scheme to get folks down to the mall to buy lots of gifts, not to mention a bunch of icky, sticky Father's Day cards. That's fine with us, said Mama. It's a busy time for me with the quilting bee coming up. And, with the school year ending, the cubs are going to be pretty busy too. Then it's agreed, said Papa. We are not going to make a fuss about Father's Day. A few days later, Papa was fixing a creaky front step. Mama was working on her tulip bed, and baby Honey Bear was playing on the grass. Above their heads, a pair of robins were hard at work building a nest. The fuss about Father's Day is a lot of nonsense, said Papa. Look at that daddy robin helping that mama robin build a nest. He doesn't need to have a fuss made over him. He's happy to do his job building the nest, sitting on the eggs when the time comes, and digging up worms when the chicks hatch. The daddy robin doesn't need a special day, and neither do I. Yes, dear, said Mama. Papa was about to continue when he heard a noise in his shop. Hey, he said, there's somebody rooting around in my shop. If it's those pesky raccoons again, I'll... But it wasn't raccoons. It was Brother and Sister Bear. What are you two up to? Asked Papa. We're just getting some stuff for a school project, said Brother. That's right, said Sister, a school project. Brother was holding a piece of special paper that Papa used for his furniture designs. Sister was holding a roll of paper Papa put down when he was painting. Okay, said Papa, just so it's got nothing to do with Father's Day. Is that clear? Oh, very clear, said the cubs. But, as Father's Day drew closer, talk about it was very much in the air, and on the air as well, on the radio. And now with Father's Day approaching, a word of tribute to all your dads out there. On television, don't forget Father's Day. At the mall, Father's Day shirt special, sweaters for dads, ties for dads, and just about everywhere else. Just as the drip, drip, drip of water can wear away solid rock, the constant talk about Father's Day began to wear away Papa's opinion about Father's Day. A couple of days before Father's Day, Mama and Papa were in the living room. Mama was putting on the finishing touches on a quilt. You know, said Papa, I think maybe I'm being a little selfish about Father's Day. It's a lot of nonsense, of course, but cubs are cubs, and if they want to make a little fuss about it... Oh, sorry, dear, said Mamma. I was counting stitches and didn't hear a word you were saying. Then the phone rang, and Mamma picked it up. Yes, she said. This is she. Yes, Mrs. Bruin, it's all arranged. See you there. Goodbye. What was that about? Asked Papa. Just some quilting business, said Mamma. By the way, said Papa, where are the cubs? They're over at Cousin Fred's working on the Big Scout project, said Mamma. Oh, said Papa. I thought they were working on a big school project. That's right, said Mamma. It's a big school and scout project. Papa would have never admitted it, but he was beginning to hope that Mamma and the cubs wouldn't worry about his opinion regarding Father's Day. He even looked in the drawers and closets for hidden presents, but there weren't any. Now, it was the day before Father's Day. Papa was on his way to the shop when he noticed the Daddy Robin. Mamma Robin had laid the eggs and Daddy was sitting on them. Mr. Robin, said Papa, I think Mamma and the cubs are up to something, and I think I know what it is. It's Father's Day. They're going to surprise me. Mr. Robin didn't say anything. He just sat there. Papa knew what Mamma and the cubs were doing. They were pretending to skip Father's Day. Well, two could play at that game. Tomorrow morning, when he woke up to breakfast in bed and lots of presents and cards on Father's Day, he would pretend to be surprised. But the next morning, he didn't have to pretend. He really was surprised. There was no breakfast in bed. There was no gifts and cards. But, wait a minute. What was the delicious smell coming up from the kitchen? It was his favorite food, French fried honeycomb. There was going to be Father's Day at breakfast. It just wasn't going to be in bed. But the French fried honeycomb wasn't for him at all. Mamma explained that it was a gift for the new family down the road. Papa went out and sat on the front steps. The Daddy Robin flew by. He was carrying a worm to his newly hatched chicks. Happy Father's Day, Mr. Robin, said Papa, for all the good it's going to do us. At that moment, Mamma and the cubs came down the front steps. Where are you going? Asked Papa. What about breakfast? We're all going for brunch at the Grismore Grill. Huh? Said Papa. The Grismore Grill, please, said the cubs as they piled into the car. When they arrived, folks were lined up at the entrance. Look, said Papa, there's a sign over the door that says, Welcome, Dads. So there is, said Mamma with a big grin. There was a much bigger sign inside. It said, Welcome to the Papa's Day Surprise. It was painted on the roll of paper the cubs had gotten for the school project. And there was a stage with a long table. Go ahead, Papa, said the cubs, up on stage with the other papas. He found a chair with his name on it at the long table. Other papas were on stage with him. Lizzie Bruin's papa, Cousin Fred's papa, even Too Tall's papa. Other papas filled the seats, and the food, all of Papa's favorites, French fried honeycomb, honey-cured salmon, honeyed squash. Someone began to speak. It was Mayor Honeypot. And now we shall hear from those who put this wonderful surprise together. Our first speakers will be Brother and Sister Bear. Brother and Sister cleared their throats and read a poem. It was on the special paper they had taken from Papa's shop. To the best Papa Bear in the whole wide world, you are big and strong and true, and no matter what we do, we know we can depend on you. You cheer us on when we are glad. You cheer us up when we are sad. You're always there for us to help, advise, and care for us. Happy Father's Day. Papa looked out over the audience, but he could hardly see. His eyes were misty, and he had a lump in his throat as big as a cantaloupe. After brother and sister read their poem, it was Lizzie Bruin's turn to say something about her dad. After Lizzie came Cousin Fred. As the cubs read their tributes, Papa thought about all the wonderful moments he had shared with his family. Well, they weren't always wonderful, but they certainly were moments. Suddenly, there was the sound of applause and cheering. It brought Papa back to the here and now of the Papa's Day surprise. Cubs and Mamas were on their feet. It had been a wonderful party and a wonderful Father's Day. The guests headed for their homes. "Cub," said Papa as he drove down the hill to their treehouse home, "I want to thank you for that lovely poem." "Mama helped us with it," said Brother. "Also," said Papa, "I want to thank you for the Papa's Day surprise. It was a wonderful gift." "That," said Sister, "was a gift for all the Papas. We and Mama have a special gift just for you." "Just for me?" said Papa. He pulled to a stop at the treehouse. He hurried up the front steps, through the front door, and into the living room. When he saw what was waiting for him, he could hardly believe his eyes. "A bear-calounger," he cried. "That's what I've always wanted. It was a special chair that you could adjust up and down. It was the perfect chair for Papa." Baby Honey began to cry. She was hungry. It was also the perfect place to feed Baby Honey. Mama and the cubs watched with big smiles as Papa sat back in his new bear-calounger and gave Baby Honey her bottle. Wow. And that's all the time we have for this special Father's Day story, Papa's Day surprise. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you have some fun today. And I hope, if you're not with your dad right now, or if your dad isn't around, I hope you have some good memories of your dad and father. Okay. Well, that's all the time we have for Uncle Matt's bedtime story. Thank you for joining me. Hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.